Good evening, y'all. Good evening. Good evening. Ooh, my back hurt. It's really the top of my neck. Good evening. Good evening, y'all. Good evening. How y'all doing this evening? How y'all doing? This has been this will be my third video for today. Okay. It's not that I planned it at all, but it's just how it's going. So as you saw in the caption, this is my reaction to the video that Beloved posted today. Mainly because, it was quite triggering. Okay. And there were some couple of things about the video that I want to talk about. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. I'm going to attempt to highlight what about the video that like totally triggered me, like what part. And there are a couple of parts. It might be three or four parts. But mainly, I was observing Darius talking about Christianity, growing up in Beloved's and Nate's house. And there were so many things that he said that triggered me because that's how me and my husband, more my husband and I, that's how we raised our children. They could not go trick-or-treating like Darius said that he couldn't. We would be at the church. We had trained our children that people that trick-or-treat, we said Halloween was evil. And that people that trick-or-treat were going to hell and they were the devil. There were so many similarities to the way that we raised our children and what Darius was saying that Beloved Nate raised him. And, my kids have told me over the years, they're older than Darius, about how they missed out on Halloween because of our religious beliefs. And some people still believe like that. And if you're one of those people, that's fine. I'm just doing my reaction video and trying to be honest as to how I got a emotional response. That's what a trigger is to what Darius was saying. He also mentioned the reason why is because other than they were Christian, was because Nate was a youth minister. And he went on to say that Nate, he had never heard Nate cuss. And, and Beloved was saying that she didn't cuss, and Darius said he had never heard her cuss. And it reminded me of me when my children heard me cuss for the first time. I think my oldest son was 16. So all the years of his life, he had never heard me cuss. And that reminded me of Darius saying that Nate used to cuss a long time ago, but he doesn't anymore. Because I think Nate is from Chicago. I know Beloved is from Chicago. I'm not sure if Nate is from Chicago. But there's just so many similarities there because me and my husband, both, we were ministers at the time. We were, going to the Pentecostal church, and, we were holy rollers, but I didn't grow up in church. So, I used to cuss, smoke and drink, you know what I'm saying? I was a typical teenager doing what typical teenagers do. My husband was an indoctrinated Christian, though. I wasn't. And until we got, we went over to the Pentecostal church and started dealing with the holy rollers, as they call it back in the day. And so, yeah, I was just watching it. But I couldn't help, because y'all know what happened today. Me and Killer was supposed to do a collaboration. That didn't go right. Basically he showed up in the comment section after the video that I did and said that, I had it all wrong, and, he didn't mean it like that, and, and all that stuff. And so I told him, well, maybe the message that I sent, I didn't hit send. I typed it, but I didn't hit send. I don't know. And then somebody else came in the comment section and said one of the moderators could have deleted it, so I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't help while I was watching Bethany. I couldn't help but notice that because I've gone through intense therapy, because I've learned that there is a difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. I watched her. I was watching her, and she, lots of times, you can be, and this is how I was, you could not, you don't necessarily know that there is a difference, and you can operate from both places at the same time. EI, facades and masks, right? And maybe a little mental illness as well. I think, I'm just saying, y'all, because y'all know we're the deep laners, y'all know what we do. I think Darius thinks something is wrong with her, and I do too. Because the picture and the picture that he paints of this mother and dad who was God fearing and good people and protecting their children from the woes of life and the devil and the negative influences and the worldly children and all of those things. That's what Beloved and Nate were trying to do, as most Christians do, with all the rigid rules and things like that, and the lifestyle of separation, sanctification. You go to church 2 or 3 times a week, you hold your position or your office, you mingle with other people who hold those traditions and who live by those rigid rules too. And you're the believer, and the ones that don't believe like you, they're the sinners. She even said in a video to Darius, "I rebuke you, Satan." She's like, "I rebuke you," because in a indoctrinated mind, it doesn't matter if they're your child. If they don't go by the same belief system and rules, then you feel like that they are a devil. And she treats him that way. She was talking about the DNA. She act like he was diseased, really. Like she couldn't, like she didn't want his DNA, like she wouldn't dare drink from his cup. Meanwhile, in my mind, only thing I saw her doing was doing what she was accused of doing with Mr. KK. And where he said that she put her mouth, what she was doing with her mouth when she was with him. There's a difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. That's where sometimes the mental illness is, because it could be like you're two different people, but you're one person. And you can operate on one end. And I want you guys to listen and to learn from me. This was very, this cost me a lot of money to learn about these things, because I was operating like that too. Okay? And you see the picture that was painted today, all of the strange looks at her son, because obviously he's gay, so gay, dirty, full of germs, bacterias, ungodly. I rebuke you, Satan. He was talking about cursing, and I thought this was so, because Darius is very intelligent, and he made a point. He said, we have chosen that certain words be curse words because we've decided that these words are bad. We meaning people. And over the years, they carry that meaning of being bad words, And he said he didn't know why. It's basically the agreement that we made. Someone said that these words are bad. They carry bad vibes or bad feelings, bad emotions, and they're bad or they're ungodly. Back in the day, they even used to teach us that if you cuss, you'll go to hell, right? So that was another triggering thing that we do, because you got folks who haven't cussed in 25 years, but they'll go lay up in secret and they'll repent in secret. And then they'll keep their holy mass because nobody has seen them cuss in 24 years. It's insanity, mental illness, 1000%. The video tonight was cute, like all of them are, she and him, but it was triggering. So Nate has always, been a minister. Not always, but he's always been in leadership in the church. And when I think of her period of life when she was with Mr. KK, so Nate has held her to the fire, so to speak, like like you can do this thing that you're doing on the side, but you're going to keep up this facade because this is what our life is. And I've seen it over and over and over again for the spouse that stands there and prays day and night and putting oil in their significant other's shoes. It might be, putting oil in their shoes, or having a couple people that you pray with and you're praying and that the devil come out of your spouse, and it's really not the devil. It's the difference between the mind and the subconscious mind. And somewhere in their childhood, there were some broken things and some things that were not right, and they expressed themselves in a certain type of way. But the church has their way of believing things, and so I saw it, not to come do the video to throw her under the bus, but for it to be a teachable moment for you guys that are here on my channel, and we call ourselves the Deep Laners. And because some of you guys say to me, well, Cheryl, do you think that she would acknowledge that she was hit with him? Okay, she don't have to say anything about him, but there was a period in her life where she was pretending, and she was everything other than holy. One of the mental notes I made was, again, when she acted like her son was a germ, a big, massive demon bacteria. But then she's accused of smoking weed, drinking, and extra marital affair with intense sex for days, ucking and sucking someone who's doing that with other people. And this is what happens, y'all. So anyway, I hope you see value in this video. There is a difference between the mind and the subconscious mind. There is. And we, as people, no matter what our religious beliefs are, no matter what we call God or how we practice our love for God or creation or whatever you want to call it, the reality of the situation is we are all human. And what that means is there are parts of us that are very human. And no matter how we paint a picture of wholeness, completeness or holiness or being whole, we're not. A lot of times we're hiding. A lot of times we're masking. A lot of times we're pretending. And see, a person like me, I know that, you know. And it's very liberating. And you being on my channel, I hope it liberates you. I don't want it to put you in a position where you're condemning and damning people, because that's what church people do. That's what Beloved did to her son in the car when she told, I rebuke you, Satan. I don't want you to be that way. I just want you to be free enough to be you and to live in your own truth without condemnation of your own self, and thinking that there is a group of people or another person who is more whole or more godly or more right, that they're a better person because they don't cuss, um, or whatever. It might not be cussing, it might be something else. And you don't really understand that this person is functioning in pure masking and mental illness. Okay? And they can't dare, and they would not dare be authentic and be real for nothing, because their human part, or I'll say the shadow, they're afraid of it and scared of it. But anyway, y'all, go watch the video and see, do you see what I see as this person acts like most of the Christians that I know, to be honest. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all on the next video. And I hope y'all watch the other videos that I did today. Killer, you have not, I don't know, I haven't checked tonight, but hit me up on Instagram. And listen, I heard that you're going back over there and talk to Melissa. That's fine. But you want to talk to me too. So hit me up on Instagram. Okay.